So I haven't really been excited about making a video in a minute, but I'm kind of excited to talk about this. Actually, that's not true. I don't know why I said that. If you're not familiar with my accents, my name is Tariq. Hello. Or Mr. Rashad, or whatever. I go by many names. And what I want to talk about today is something that I feel like is going to be a universal message, but some of you are going to hear this and there's going to be a cognitive dissonance where you disengage from what I'm actually saying, and that's okay. But for those who are actually willing to listen and evolve, hi, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're hydrating. So first of all, I want to get it out there and say that I'm not a hypocrite. And if I ever have Hippocratic tendencies, I'm very quick to take note of that and move accordingly. That being said, if there was an imaginary scale of maturity from least mature to most mature, I don't believe that I'm at the most mature end. To be quite frank, I'm probably closer than I think I am, egoistically, but I am very humble. I think there's always room for improvement, so I don't think I'm that far along in my maturity, but I definitely recognize that I'm a very mature being. And we could also talk about from a spiritual perspective. I have a lot of maturity in the spiritual sense, in the energetic sense. And I think with the election coming up in less than a week or so, I don't know what the exact timing of it is, but we are in November. It is November 2nd as I'm recording this. And with that going on and just generally a lot of shifts going on globally, if you haven't been aware, I found myself thinking about maturity last night. And the one thing about it is just it really pisses me off when I see somebody who is decently mature, bare minimum, is able to have tough conversations sometimes, doesn't run from confrontation, knows how to regulate their own emotions sometimes, and then they go around shitting on other people because of their lack of maturity or their lack of intelligence. That right there is a huge sign of a lack of maturity. If you... Sorry. And I think it's honestly projecting a lot of the time. If you feel insecure about your intelligence, most likely that is something you're going to project on people if you have not taken ownership of your own shit. And when I say that, I mean, or the opposite of what I mean when I say taking ownership of your shit is what we would call a narcissist, someone who's constantly pushing their shit onto other people, constantly making other people go through their suffering, etc., etc. That's what I mean. And when you're not secure within yourself, once again, you're going to push that onto other people if you're not careful. And it's partially why I'm making this video, to kind of reach at least one person or more who needs a maturity boost. I don't know what I'm going to title this either. I might title this something really crude, like I did with the last video. I hate dumb people so much because, oh my God, that's one thing I don't do, casually. I might do it in a retaliation sort of sense. If somebody first comes for my intelligence, I might say something or think something in retaliation. But generally, I don't go around gauging people's intelligence. I don't go around if it's an observation, if I notice somebody's dim-witted or so, it might be an observation, but I don't go around being oh, this person's stupid. How can I use this information? Or let me do something with this. No, what? That's stupid. And I say stupid in the sense that from a spiritually mature perspective, one aspect of it is that when you're spiritually mature, you understand that what you put out comes back to you. So if we have to look at it from a self-absorbed, selfish perspective, if you're putting out hate, if you're putting out negativity and all that ugly shit, it's going to come back to you in some way. And if it doesn't come back to you, it's going to come back to your lineage, which is even worse because you're just bypassing it. You don't have to experience the brunt of it, but somebody is because of you. And another way to look at it, once again with the selfish perspective, is that we are all connected, we are all one. And so by proxy, if you hurt another person, by proxy, you are also hurting yourself in a way. It goes back to what you put out comes back to you because we are all one. And, this is why people who have pure intentions, people who move throughout the world within their power, within their divinity, but with purity, with pure intentions, like good-hearted, like energy. That's why when you fuck over those people, you see negative consequences. It's not because they're doing black magic, maybe sometimes, but it's not because they're doing magic. It's not because they're like cursing you. It's because that's the energy that you gave out. And it's coming back to you because you put it on to somebody who did not deserve that at all. I feel like it's a really hard thing to swallow, even for me as a person who could consider themselves this, but there are genuinely like good people out there. There are genuinely like pure-hearted people out there. And it's very rare. It's not the most common to find these people, but they exist. Myself is living proof. And you know what's a lack of maturity? Seeing one of these people in the wild, and instead of like feeling inspired, feeling like compelled to be better, instead of those things, immaturity looks like seeing one of these people and like figuring out a way to like benefit off of them without reciprocating, without supplementing, you know, take. You know what's also a very immature thing to do when it comes to that sort of person is like mistreating them and then trying to paint them as like a villain or as a bad guy because you couldn't get what you wanted. Like, I have a lot of respect for, you know, these wolves in sheep clothing, but once again, when you really truly mature on an energetic spiritual level, you know better not to do these things because you know it's foul, it's disgusting. Like, sure, the universe needs balance, but that's why people are unaware. That's why people are like unconsciously doing these heinous things and like perpetuating these behaviors, because 9 times out of 10 a person is not consciously going, hey, how can I like, actually I say 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna say like 7 times out of 10, I don't know what would be going through people's mind, to be honest, but 7 times out of 10 people are not going and saying like, how can I ruin this person's life? Usually there's a self-centered motive. Usually it's like, what can I benefit from this? Not, let me unnecessarily hurt this person, but like, how can I benefit? And if harm is part of that, in the sense of like, your light is too bright, and so I need to dim it so I can see better, or like, etc., whatever reasons people have. And honestly, when it boils down to it, like, self-awareness is the most important thing. Like, you can be aware in general, but if you're not aware of your own patterns and how you relate to others, then it doesn't matter, you know? So if nothing else from this video, I want to ask you the question. Also, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you if you're still watching. I appreciate you, whoever you are, wherever you are in the world. I hope that these videos help the people that they reach. But I'm going to ask you the question, where am I maturity wise? And it's up to you, to be honest with yourself. I ain't got shit to do with that. Like, this is a question for you to answer. Like, if you could conceptualize a imaginary line where it goes from super duper immature to like most enlightened God level, like, maturity, like, where do you fall on that? And how does that impact the people around you? Because I feel like a lot of us like to pretend like it's possible to live within a vacuum, live within a bubble, but realistically this is not possible. Like, even if you stayed in your mom's basement and you played video games all day, you are still impacting people. Because first of all, your mom, your parents, you might not want to consider it, you might not want to think about it, but you are impacting them and everybody that they are impacting by proxy, you know? And that also, fun fact, unrelated, but I remember in high school I learned that this is like a way that like everybody kind of just knows each other on the planet, because if you know one person, most likely they know other people, and then they know people, and then they probably know people, and then it kind of just like scatters out, and it's like people just we you know, like there might be 8 billion of us, but we're very connected, if not on a spiritual fundamental level, just connected in the sense that like we all have some sort of connection to it. But yeah, ask yourself, how mature are you? And like, if maturity is not something that is like on the forefront of your mind, I don't know why you would be watching this video because of the way that I titled it. And you know what I did not do before recording this video? I took notes. I have notes. I did not research the word mature because I was going to be like, the definition of mature, but I did not research it. But if I had to guess what maturity means, it's basically like the ability to like handle different situations with a certain level of ease, you know? Like, for example, your maturity level is going to determine how well you are able to maneuver a difficult conversation. You know, if your maturity level is low, that difficult conversation is going to be, you probably are not even going to be the one to initiate it. You're going to be the one to like avoid it at all costs. And then it finally comes and you're just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. But then maturity, like a high level of maturity, would be you handling that situation and being like, okay, this is difficult. I don't want to handle this, but here we are. We can do it, you know? And a lot of people just lack maturity. A lot of people lack a sense of self. You know, a lot of people are just NPCs, just believe what other people tell them to believe. And it's really quite sad. And I haven't been talking about it, but I have been working on a book about escaping the Matrix and whatnot. And it's mostly done. I'd say it's like 80% done because I'm a perfectionist. And I still want to like tweak things and get it quote unquote perfect. But, excuse mom. But yeah, I hope this video made you think. I hope this put something on your mind. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. I hope you stay hydrated. If you haven't been, I would recommend that you eat some fruit. I started eating some fruit and it definitely changed my brain chemistry. It definitely threw me for a loop and I'm definitely adjusting. But eat some fruit, drink some water, have a beautiful day. Bye.